What's going on, guys? This is Chaos Matrix. We're living in the chaos. We're living in the matrix. We're living in the chaos matrix. Welcome back to another presentation. So, something just happened to me today. Well, early this morning. So, basically, I placed a scheduled order on Uber to get here to me around 6 o'clock, right? So, in the state of Alaska, the grocery stores here, they close at 12 and they open around 5 o'clock, right? And then the actual store opens around 7. Because I'm on Alaska time zone. And basically, I was waiting for my Uber to get here with my food. You know, the groceries that I ordered. I spent over $97 worth of groceries. You know, some fruits, vegetables, just stuff that I really needed, right? And it ended up, my stuff and then when I was waiting, because, you know, on the Uber app, you wait, you track your order, and then you wait, and I wait until the Uber driver delivers my order, because, you know, I live with a bunch of roommates currently. So that's why I haven't been making a whole lot of videos lately, because I stay with a bunch of roommates and a landlord that is grumpy and paranoid, and you know, when she hears anything outside, she's thinking something courageous is gonna happen, right? Plus, I'm staying in a house full of 8 different people from different walks of life. And it's kind of been hard to do content. So, especially when you got people eavesdropping and other possibilities that could happen. So, basically, once I saw that once your order gets in on Uber, it'll show you enjoy your food, or your order's been complete, something like that. I go outside, I did not see my order anywhere. So I think I did a YouTube short on that, showing you. If you guys want to check that out, it's down below. So I went next door to see if there was a possibility that my food was being delivered to the wrong person. So I got in touch with the driver that delivered my food, because I sent him I had to reorder more stuff, because I'm like, I gotta have some food to eat, right? And the crazy thing is that she didn't, he told me everything that was going on right after I sent him a message saying, hey, you know, when you get here, just make sure that you place my food at the doorstep, because the last Uber driver did not deliver my food. So then he spoke with me personally over the phone, and told me he didn't steal my food. And he said that he was the first and only Uber driver that delivered the food. And I couldn't even get a word edgewise because he was just talking way too much. So when I finally had a chance to say something, I told him, well, I had no idea you were that Uber driver. I was just telling you that on the behalf of the other Uber driver. I didn't think it was you. So he was telling me how he had to contact the company because he delivered my food to the wrong person. And so now he currently has my order, so he doesn't have the other order, which is kind of, it's kind of ridiculous. But so going forward, it was more like he gave my order to somebody else. I'm like, okay, well, that sucks. So before then, so then I'm just thinking to myself, like, I don't see my order anywhere. What in the world is going on? So that's kind of what happened with that, which leads me to the topic of this video. And this is ridiculous. And it's like you have some people, because the last Uber driver that I think this was like last year, and I was just trying to I ordered some fruit bowls because I always order fruit bowls from the grocery store. And when I got the bag, it was like somebody just took all the fruit out of the plastic container bowls and just dumped them in the bag. I even had an Uber driver one time took my food and sat it on top of the garbage can. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is crazy. These people in Alaska are really crazy up here. They will do some outlandish, crazy stuff and not really care. It's crazy. And so it's just, ever since I came back to the States, it's like a lot of crazy stuff's just been happening. And I don't know if it's bad karma. I don't know if it's something I did in the past or years ago. Now it's catching up to me. I don't know. But America is a toxic country. It is a country where you have to keep working a job, punching in a clock every day until you die. There is no, you're going to forever be struggling. The struggle for survival, it gets tighter, it gets worse and worse. And right now, I am in the process of leaving America, because America it's more like all I'm doing in this country is working hours to pay bills, stay locked up in the house all day due to the exhaustion of working so many hours And that's it. And the crazy part about it is that's all everybody is doing. They get burnt out working from 40 to 60, 70 hours a week. You have to work 2 jobs just to maintain a life or keeping a roof over your head. Other people don't really care about you as they paint themselves out to be. Because when it all comes down to it, most Americans, especially those who have their own stuff to deal with, they just care about getting themselves straightened out. They don't care about you. You know, especially when it comes to family. I used to think that my family had my back. I used to think that, maybe things will work out. But things did not work out. And it seems like everybody is like you versus everybody in this world. So I called my mother, because she's only family that I have since my grandmother passed away last year. And I was just talking to her, see how she was doing. I didn't really want to make it look like only reason I called her because I wanted to see how she, I wanted something, because I kind of had that feeling that she was going to say something like that. So we started talking. I told her, because I work at the theater downtown, and I told her, like, I get off at 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm unable to get a bus back because they don't open until 7 o'clock in the morning. So in a way, I kind of was trying to, in hopes that she would maybe give me something to eat. Not something to eat. What am I talking about? Give me something, at least some money to get on the bus to get to where I need to go, at least. But she chose not to help me. So I had nothing. Like, I had paid rent because I'm staying here with my landlord and about 8 people in this house. And I ended up having to walk 4.5 miles from where I worked at back home. And as I was walking on my way here, I was walking in a negative 7-degree weather. And in Alaska, the weather tends to drop at nighttime. Because last night the night before that, it was negative 4 degrees. Now it's negative 7 degrees. And it was tiring, but I had to push through. And I ended up calling off on Tuesday because I was tired. I couldn't even feel my legs. My legs felt like it was frozen. And I'm going to tell you, when you're up here, I didn't even have any winter clothes whatsoever because I didn't have the money to get, stuff that I needed. All I've been using my money for is paying bills and trying to get groceries so I don't die of starvation, and it's not getting any better. So It's just everything is so expensive. Jobs now making it difficult to hire people. They just don't want to hire people anymore. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm just tired of working these jobs. I'm tired of dealing with people that doesn't really want to be friendly. You talk to them, they start acting as if like they don't know what you're talking about. And then you have to deal with somebody reporting you because they see what you all about and they don't like it. So what they try to do is sabotage that. And I don't know, it's just like ever since I came back to the States, because I went with my mom to, well, actually my mother paid for me to go to Africa to visit some people that she met there. And at the time I didn't have anything. I didn't even have nothing but the shirt on my back because I had a car accident. And I left, in the car you see in this video, that was my car. I was living in the state of Alabama, and I was heading home. Well, basically I was living in my car because I didn't have a place to go or stay. My grandmother wouldn't let me stay with her. Nobody helped me, nobody reached out, but I reached out for help, and you know how that goes. I don't get any help. As a man, you don't get any help or sympathy from anyone. And I suppose that only goes for women. Only women can get sympathy and get help. But, you know, so a red pickup truck has hit me from behind. And as you can see, all of my stuff is gone. I don't have anything except for the clothes on my back. And I just all the stuff I worked hard for. And after seeing so many people on YouTube, I thought, well, if I don't get monetized on YouTube by this channel, then, you know, perhaps I can just use this as an outlet to really just talk about a lot of stuff that's really on my mind, and hopefully some things that people can relate to. So that's basically why I'm starting this channel, because there's so many people that are searching, you know, looking for problems or looking for someone who's going through the same thing as they are. I'm just gonna tell you, America is not a place you want to call home. Everything is so expensive. And then it's like you work so many hours to get a fat paycheck just to have to work more hours all over again after spending all that money on bills. It's ridiculous. And so how I ended up here in Alaska was I took an 18-hour flight from, well, I was in Alabama, And then I went to California and stayed with my mother. She said that she paid a one-way ticket to go to Africa. So I went there, stayed there for 90 days. And my mother told me that my uncle has a job opportunity that I should apply for it. So I applied for it, and when I was speaking to somebody over the phone, they didn't seem very friendly. So I spoke with the person, and that I applied for a correction officer job, only to be told I took an 18-hour flight to get here, and to be told that I didn't get the job. After I paid for a notary, I went through all the process, did the testing, they sat down with me, had the interview, and I also wasted a week and a half, 2 weeks and a half working, only to be told I didn't get the job. Which was kind of disheartening, because it's like, if I knew that I was not going to get this job, or there was a slim chance I was ever going to get this job, I would have never came back to the US. Right? So I have, when you are a man, especially a person like me, you don't get any help. Men don't get any help. We are left to fend for ourselves and struggle and suffer. The women in the US, they get all the sympathy. But us men, we don't get any sympathy. If we're broke, busted, and disgusted, as they say, then no one's coming to help. The cavalry is not coming for us. And it really sucks. This country sucks. The food is very unhealthy. Too much hormones and GMO, cloned unnecessary ingredients. It's like this country is killing their own people, while at the same time, making the situations harder and harder. And the thing is, another thing I hated about this country is America likes to start wars with other people. I've seen a lot of people with guns, AR-15s. It's ridiculous up here. It's like America is just not a safe place to live. People do stupid, ignorant stuff. Very disrespectful on the job. A lot of people come in because they hate their job, so they just have these attitudes to get people to not want to work the job anymore. Or they just don't want to work the job. So they like to corrupt the working environment, making it miserable for other people. And I'm just really tired of America. I'm tired of this country. I sit on YouTube all the time, and I look at so many YouTubers that are overseas that are having a good time. They're more happier, healthier than they have ever been in their lives. And here I am, stuck here in a country that I hate so much, suffering, having cramps, body ache, pain, headaches, always out of energy. I usually draw, on my iPad. I got to the point I don't even do that no more. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of stuff I don't do anymore. Because the job in America, it takes most of my time and energy. I even tried asking around. I tried to connect with people. Almost either got pepper sprayed, or if you do it on the job, they'll turn around, go behind your back and report you when they could have just spoke to you about it if it was bothering them. Not that I was doing anything. It was just a bad experience for me. What's worse is, and what's really worse is the fact that I got kicked out. My uncle kicked me out of his home and told my mother that I was no longer welcome in his house anymore. Mind you, I was homeless, living on the streets, living in my car for 6 years. Okay? And took an 18-hour flight for a job I never did get, only to be told that I had until, he told me, he said that I had until July to find somewhere else to go. I had no money to get a flight to leave if I had to. I had nothing. My mother, it just felt like my mother just paid so much money just to get me to Africa to spy on her husband and then get me all the way here to Alaska only so that I could just be stuck here. And now I'm stuck here living with 8 people that are bitching and complaining about the fact that I cook stuff or whatever. I'm staying with a landlord that is throwing insults at me every chance she gets. And she's too paranoid. She always thinks somebody is going to destroy her. Living in a state like this, who could blame her? But it's just everybody here in Alaska is just, it's like their guards are up and they think that everybody around them is an enemy. It's like them versus everybody. And I don't know why I'm going through all of the stuff that I'm going through. At the time, I used to think that, maybe it was because maybe it's something I did in the past I wasn't supposed to do. Maybe it's bad karma. Who knows? But unfortunately, it's just so much stuff that it's basically a fling as I continue to keep going through these situations all the time. And maybe it's a sign that I need to leave America. That could be a possibility. I mean, there could be a possibility, as a matter of fact. However, I just got myself in a situation that I did not want to put myself through. I didn't want to put myself in this situation. I didn't. This is absolutely ridiculous. You can't network with anybody. And people here in Alaska are not very friendly people. It is a melting pot full of racist and prejudiced people up here. To the core. And it's insane. They don't like apologetic people. So if you're like one of those people who always apologetic, yeah, they don't like that. They don't like friendly people. They don't like a people that talks to them. They don't like none of that. They expect you to be this asshole, stoic, unfriendly, dangerous person that have done 2 to 6 years in prison and just got out. Those are the type of attitude, type of guys that they expect you to be. And it's just so crazy here. Like, at the movie theater that I work at, I done seen a female with a beard, a salt and pepper beard, looking like a man/woman. It is crazy here. People don't dress, they dress provocatively. They walk around with a sleeping cap on their heads, wearing house shoes in public places. They let their little kids that are like 6 or 7 years old go to the restroom while the father is just sitting in the movie theater, or the parents are at the movie theater watching a movie, not even caring if something happens to that child or not. And then once something does happen, then you know how that goes. Somebody has to be blamed for it. It's no different than how co-workers at work, when something happens and they know it's their fault, they look for somebody else to blame it on so they can cover themselves. That's all it is. I was even told and I've been told that I was the first melanated black man that ever sat across Alaska. I was told this by a teenager. It was very disrespectful to actually say something like that, even though Alaska is a multicultural state. But you know, they make a whole bunch of stuff. And here's the thing. Now, in cities like Anchorage, I haven't been to other places in Alaska, but Anchorage is more like the ghetto part of Tuscaloosa, Alabama on steroids back in 1990s. And when you go to the nicer places, you deal with prejudice and racist people. People who will make racist statements. I even had somebody call the police on me. And they were claiming that they were doing a wellness check. And I'm like, a wellness check? While I was on the phone with a family member. America is getting crazier by the minute. Who in the world would would want to live here. I wouldn't even want to have kids in a toxic country like this. Which brings me to my next situation. I mean, I won't go into it too much in this video, but the dating scene sucks here too. You know, women are too unrealistically picky. They always get with dudes that don't really want them. Just because they're 6 feet tall, they put up with their behaviors. And overall, the people here in Alaska suck. And this whole entire country sucks. We got a president that is saying, let America be great again, but America's only getting worse. Again, it's even gotten more worse than when Biden was in office. And he's going around striking tariffs and starting wars with other countries, saying, oh, well, we're getting $63 billion and blah, blah, blah. We're doing great, we're doing fine. But you have thousands and 14 million Americans that are getting laid off from high-paying jobs that they done spent their whole life that they really enjoy doing. You got veterans that have 6 years of experience and 2 master's degrees. They still can't even find a job anywhere. I done worked with people that got a bachelor's degree at a fast food restaurant in financing that he can't even find a job in his field. It's insane. And then now it's even getting worse to the point where the jobs now don't want to hire people. They're making it even harder for people to even make money or even try to get a job. May I add, a level entry job at that. But then you have other people that they just in their own cozy world that they don't understand how bad the job market is. How many people Amazon, Google, and Microsoft had to lay off. People won't even help you. They even have a career center where they don't help you find the job anywhere. You have to do that yourself. And I'm gonna tell you, like, Alaska, they don't have any job opportunities here. And then a lot of times there's a lot of hiring freezes due to the fact that the oil revenue is down below 40% or lower. People don't even care about their own state that they live in. There's too many people drinking and smoking weed and just doing drugs irresponsibly. They don't care if there's kids around. They don't think about anything but themselves. Which I wouldn't be surprised if mayhem started happening here in Alaska. Which more than likely is going to happen at some point. And it is just, America's just not the place. I'm so tired. I'm so tired, y'all. I am so tired. And the crazy thing about it all is the people here are not very friendly at all. And based on my experience of living up here, well, basically, I had no intentions of staying up here in Alaska. I just got stuck up here because I came up here for a job that I didn't get. And it even made it more worse when my uncle decided to throw me out after he used me for another source of income, just so that he can get what he wants and then throw me off aside. And the crazy thing about it is, my mother was the one that helped me. She paid so much money to get me up here. And now I'm stuck up here with no help, no family support, no nothing. I already lost my grandmother last year. So that's already something I'm still recovering from that. Because my grandmother was a very sweet lady. She's like a grandmother that you never had. And now that she's gone, I don't have no, it's like, it just feels like I don't have no more family anymore. So I just, so I tried to, and what got me into doing YouTube was, of course, I want to get paid making content, but I've been using YouTube as an outlet to talk about what's on my mind and what's really going on, because apparently, you can't talk to anybody no more. People don't like to be friendly. People don't like to meet other people anymore. It's all about they just want to go to work and go home and stay locked up in their houses. So it's like, you're living it's like living in a country where you have to sound like a robot. You have to be a robot. Or a gaming NPC. Or this stoic, quiet person. I mean, it's just no fun here. You can't make any connections here. If you guys are looking for jobs and you're trying to connect with people and find references, forget it, because it's harder than ever before to do any of that stuff now. It is. It's harder than ever. And right now, and another reason I started this YouTube channel is I sat back and I thought about it. I said, you know what? Since I'm in school, why not just start a YouTube channel and in hopes to get monetized and just get a decent revenue from it. That would actually help me out a whole lot. However, and then it'll help me out with school, considering, I'm in the process of finishing up my associate's degree, and then I'm already signed up for the bachelor's degree, so I'll be doing that very soon. And with my financial aid running out, tried to make money online. I've looked up thousands of videos. And I'm gonna tell you, there's so many, I don't wanna stay away from the topic, but the jobs are hard to get. I done put in so many jobs and got turned down. I had somebody said they'd apply for 50 to 70 jobs and didn't get anything. So, if you guys are listening, thank you guys for tuning in. I almost forgot to add in too. So, I ended up having to walk an hour and 30 minutes away from my job all the way back to my room in a -4 to a -7 degree weather at night. And I didn't even get back until like 2 o'clock in the morning. My legs is like an ice block. And if you live up here in Alaska around March time, at its peak, it feels like you are walking or standing on top of a mountain. That is how cold it is here. But I don't have family support. I don't have anything. Now, I did meet up with somebody, and she was telling me that she's trying to get her license because she's trying to hire me for this job. But to be honest with you, I don't even think she's going to even hire me for this job, to be honest. Because people will say anything when they're going through the same thing. But then once they get us some success and they start climbing up the ladder, they don't help you at all. And America is just one big corporation that will enslave you to work and work and work and work and work. You get no days, you get barely any days off. Anyway, I'll be back with another video real soon. We're just going through a lot right now. And I don't know, it just feels like I'm going through a lot for nothing. I made huge steps that I've never made before in my life. Going to another country, much less moving to a whole nother state. Going to another country, then going to another different state. That's a lot. That is a lot of big moves I've had to make. A lot. And the move I made this time, I just regret it. And it just also makes you wonder, and sometimes I wonder, how can family sleep at night? Can your own flesh and blood family sleep at night, knowing that your family is walking the streets at night, running into random people, dealing with random people, staying in a house with a bunch of drug addicts, and fights are going on around the house, and and got the landlord creeping around at odd hours of the night and the morning. You know, you would think that, you know, families supposed to stick together, but I don't know. I guess that don't even exist in these times anymore. Families are supposed to have your back, regardless of what differences they have. But unfortunately, the family that I have, they don't support that. They don't subscribe to that type of behavior. I used to think that my mother had my back, as well as everybody else in the family. But it's like everybody has treated me like I'm just some ghost that never existed. Have you guys ever been through that? I think I'm talking to somebody out there, because I've been going through a hell of a lot of stuff in my life. And it just feels like it'll never end. It seems like the longer you live, the more you get humiliated by reality. You get humiliated by reality. And then you just gotta deal with, you can't really, and that's another reason why I started this channel. Because this is an outlet where I can do my rants and say what's on my mind. Because you can't really talk to people in real life, rather if it's at work or outside of a job. If it's at a job or outside of a job, you cannot talk to people. Because people don't want to meet new people. They don't want to talk. They don't want to make connections. All they're going to think is, most of the people here in Alaska, their minds are in the gutter. Or, with all the craziness that I've been hearing about that goes on here, seems like everybody has their guard up. And the thing is, I'm hearing rumors. I don't know if it's true, but the women here in Alaska are very, very, very dangerous, to the point where they all have mace and bear spray. Be on the lookout for that if you're actually coming up here. Which I don't think anybody would want to come all the way up here to Alaska in the first place. Anyway, this is pretty much my rant for today. Thank you for watching. Be back with another video real soon.